plan ahead. So don't wait until the last minute to book your flights or book your hotel. Plan ahead. The farther ahead you plan and you make your flights, you buy your tickets, the cheaper it's going to be. Hi, JJ here, the Lonely Bull in Asia, coming to you from my condo this morning. It's a hot one out there, so I thought I would do one inside for a change. But if you're planning on coming here to the Philippines, whether for an exploratory visit to spend 2, 3, 4 weeks here, or maybe you're ready to make that permanent move, this video is for you. We got a checklist to run down, so you don't want to miss it. Let's stick around and I'll go through the checklist with you. So if you're planning on heading over here to the Philippines, whether for a few weeks to just check things out to see whether this is the right fit for you, or if you're ready to make that permanent move and retire or move over here and be either a retiree, expat, or a digital nomad, or whatever the case may be, I've got a checklist for you that will be important for you. Now, this isn't all encompassing, but these are just a few things. I've just made a quick list of a few things that you need to check off on that list before you make the move and when you first get here. So let's get started. First of all, if you're planning on moving here, make sure you downsize. I mentioned this in a video earlier, but how much do you plan on bringing with you? So if you're just coming here for a visit for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, don't bring a lot of clothes or different things. If you could put it all in one carry-on or one backpack, that's the best plan. Just bring it in one thing to carry on. That way, if you're on several different connecting flights, you don't have to worry whether your luggage is going to get to your destination or not. Now, if you're coming out here permanently, obviously you're probably not going to be able to get everything you need into one backpack or one carry-on. So you're going to have to put some luggage in there and carry some more items. But honestly, I would just bring maybe 5 or 6 or maybe a week's worth of clothing, a change of clothing, because you're going to be able to find either you're staying in an Airbnb or whatever that's got a washer in the unit or a washer in the building, or you can find a laundromat close by where you can just drop off your laundry for a couple hundred peso and get your laundry back either later that day or the next day. So don't bring a lot of things with you. Definitely don't need to bring a lot of cold weather items. So I would bring 1 pair of slacks or jeans in case you need to go to the BI and just in case they were looking at a dress code. The one here in BGC, they don't care if you wear shorts. Just don't wear a tank top and sandals. They'll probably frown on that a little bit. Just be aware of that. But or if you want to go to the clubs, at night, a lot of the clubs have a dress code where you have to wear long pants. So just be aware of that. Don't bring a lot of tank tops. Get a nice dress shirt like this, or polos, or pullovers, something like that, so you don't look like you just came off the boat, so to speak. So if you're on that exploratory visit or vacation, just bring the bare minimum. Now, if you're coming here to move, you're going to have to bring a lot more items. You'll have to bring some luggage that you'll have to check in. But if you're ready to move permanently over here, try to downsize as much as possible. The less things you have to worry about back in the States or back in your home country, the better it is, because then you can just focus on enjoying your life here instead of, I still have some items in storage back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I'm paying $88 a month that I need to get back there and just get rid of all that stuff. Most of it's clothes, some of it's personal items, photos, framed photos, that sort of thing, an old antique record player that I need to get to my sister somehow. But those items, if you can downsize to a bare minimum, maybe have a friend or family member You know, if you got just a few items that they can store in their garage, that'd be great too. So, and you know, try to get rid of your car, obviously, because you don't want to ship it over here because it's not cost prohibitive. It is cost prohibitive. So, plan ahead. So don't wait until the last minute to book your flights or book your hotel. Plan ahead. The farther ahead you plan and you make your flights, you buy your tickets, the cheaper it's going to be. Now, there are different sites you can go to. I use mostly Momondo.com, and I'll put all those links in the description. I've heard Skyscanner is really good. I've looked at them a few times also. Those are the two main ones I would use, because what they'll do is those sites search the entire internet and find you the best deals. So just go to those sites, or you can go directly to the airline. But the best times to travel, usually March through June to travel here, you'll get the cheapest rates. And then again in like September through November, but that's during the rainy season, so it's kind of hit and miss there. But just understand that the farther out that you book your flight, generally speaking, the cheaper it is. And what I like about Momondo.com is you can bring up a calendar and each date will have a color on it. So if you bring up, say, June, and maybe June 1st through the 8th will all be in green, that means those are the cheapest flights. And then the yellow are the regular, you know, the regular price flights are, you know, not as cheap. And then the red boxed dates are the ones that are going to be more expensive. So that's what I like about Momondo. And then you can use filters to filter out, you know, if you don't like a certain airline, you can uncheck that box so you don't get those. If you want to go direct, you can check that box, the direct flights, or one-stop flights, or two-stop flights, or no overnight flights. I mean, just, you know, there's a lot of different filters you can use that's really going to help you find the best flights. I generally don't check a lot of boxes because I don't want to limit my options. I'll try to get all those flights listed, and then I'll look at each flight and find the best for me that fits me. So just understand that, you know, if you're planning on coming here, try to book that flight, you know, 2 months in advance if you can. That way you're going to save a little bit of money. And I'm a frugal guy. I like saving money. So I'm going to try to, you know, do the best I can as far as saving money. And that's one way to do it with your flight. Book your hotel too, or your Airbnb or Agoda. Book that in advance too. But here's what I will tell you. If you're just coming here to, you know, visit for a few days or a few weeks, it's okay to book that Airbnb or that Agoda. With Airbnb, I would make sure you get a super host. Make sure that they're, you know, somebody that's reliable, and you know you're not gonna you're gonna get what you look at on the website. If you're planning on moving here, I would, you know, depending on where you're going to be, where you're planning on living here in the Philippines, but I would book a hotel for a couple of days when you first get here, and then look at these Agoda sites and these Airbnbs. Go to the place that's actually listed, and you can look at those firsthand instead of just pictures on the internet, and then you can determine whether, okay, this is legit, looks good, and then you can book that Airbnb for a couple of weeks while you're looking for your permanent condo. So that would be my suggestion. That's what I did. So that's what I would do if I were you, but you know, you do it your own way. I'm just giving you suggestions. These are checklists that you need to go by. If you're coming here on a visit and you're planning on staying more than 30 days, or if you're planning on moving here and staying, obviously you're moving here, you're going to stay more than 30 days. You're going to need onward ticket. They're going to need to show that you are leaving the country within 30 days. Now, if you're coming here on a visit and you're staying less than 4 weeks, you're staying less than 30 days, you're going to have a round trip ticket and it's going to show that. So you're not going to have a problem with that. But if you're planning on staying longer, you're going to have to show a return ticket or an onward ticket, meaning you're going to another country. Now, you can go to what I use called onwardticket.com, And again, I'll put that in the description. But you can go on there, and I wouldn't do it. You need to do it with under 48 hours before you leave your home country. So if you do it outside of 2 days, it's going to cancel before. And if they check on it, which they rarely do, but if they do check and it shows it's been canceled, it won't count. So you're going to lose your $16. That's about how much it costs. So you can do an onward ticket through them to Thailand or Vietnam or anywhere close by. So your price is going to be lower. It's usually $16. Do it within that 48-hour window before you leave, and then you'll be fine. And then what you'll also need to do is fill out your etravel information. And I'll put that in the description too. Now, everybody who comes into the Philippines has to fill that out. So, and basically all you're doing is putting in your passport information, putting in where you're going to be, where you're traveling, when you're leaving, different things like that. It's very unobtrusive, and it's really easy. It takes you maybe 5 or 10 minutes to fill out. They don't ask you to download a lot of things anymore. I do believe I've heard now that if the first time you do it, you have to upload your photo maybe, and maybe a photocopy of your passport. But once you've got once you're in the system, all you need to do is log on and fill out the new information every time you travel here. So that's something that you'll need to be aware of, that etravel, and I'll put that link in also. Bring some cash with you. If you bring $100 bills, make sure that they're in pristine condition, because if there's any tear or any writing on it, and they look through a microscope basically, and if there's any flaws on it at all, they will not accept it. And I would hate for somebody to come here with $100 bills to exchange in a peso and find out they can't exchange it, and then they're stuck with those $100 bills the whole time they're here. So just be aware of that. You can use 20s. 20s they don't really care much about. They can be rough as you want, and they'll accept them. Now, some exchange places will give you a better rate for $100 bills. Not all of them do that. So just be aware of that. So, but if you bring those $100 bills, make sure they're in really, really mint condition. Okay. You can use your credit card and your debit card also. So you can go to the ATM and get cash out, get peso out through ATMs. And then you can use that in most places, especially in the larger cities like Manila and Cebu. Here in BGC, you can use your credit card or debit card at most locations, you know, restaurants, retail stores, and that sort of thing. There's a very few that won't accept a credit card. Like some of the, I was at Uncle John's convenience store. It's like a 7-Eleven here. They don't accept cards. They only accept cash. So just be aware of those certain things. Make sure if you're coming over here, make sure you contact all your banks and your credit cards and let them know you're going to be over here. Otherwise, you may try to use your card and it gets declined. Just be aware of that. If you're in a hotel or an Airbnb and you're using their Wi-Fi, and if you're trying to make a payment on something online and you're using your card, it may get declined because it's showing that you're in the Philippines or you're not in your home country. So I would make sure you have a VPN, some sort of VPN loaded on your phone or your laptop or any communications. That way you've got that covered. You can put in the VPN that you're still in the States, and everything should work fine for you. So I use ExpressVPN, but I'm not promoting that. You can use whatever VPN you want. I think they're all pretty much the same, and they all cost about the same thing. So so just make sure you contact your banks and your credit card companies. Let them know you're going to be overseas for whatever amount of time you're going to be. If it's going to be indefinitely, that's what I told them. So I'm going overseas. I'm going to be working over here. I'm not planning on coming back anytime soon. So just make sure that my cards work, and they're fine with it. The banks are fine. The credit card companies are fine with it too. If you're planning on only being here, you know, a short period of time, a few weeks or a month or two, let them know about the time you're coming back, because the worst thing that could happen is you get back and you think everything's fine, and then someone over here got your credit card information and they're still using it, and you might not know, the bank or the credit card company might not know because you told them you're overseas, so they may think everything's fine. So just be aware of those things too. Travel insurance, you can use travel insurance. Personally, I use what's called 7 Corners, and you can go to 7corners.com, or you can go to squaremouth.com and put in your information, and what they'll do is they will give you several different options of different insurance companies, travel insurance companies that can insure you. Now, I just use the travel insurance. I don't have the normal insurance here. You may need something different. It's just kind of it just depends on what your situation is. So just be aware of that. But those are 2 places that I would look if you're looking for travel insurance. Also, if you're planning on staying over 30 days, know where your local Bureau of Immigration office is. Here in BGC, it's at SMR on the 8th floor. That's the mall, one of the malls here. Just go up the 8th floor, and that's where the office is. If you're planning on staying more than 30 days, you're going to need to extend your visa, because you get in here, most countries, you can come in here visa free for 30 days, and then you need to extend for 29 days. I don't know why it's 29 days, but it's 29 days. So you're going to need to extend for 29 days at the BI office, but you'll need to do that before your 30 days are up. Don't wait till the 30th day, or don't wait until after. You got to do it before, otherwise you're going to get dinged. You're going to get some fines involved, and then they'll do a background check, and they're going to charge you 500 extra pesos for that. So just be aware of those things. So what I would do is, if you know you're going to stay more than 30 days, I would go, within the first 2 weeks you're here. Once you get settled in, like if you come in on, May 1st, and you're going to stay into June, I would go in like on the 15th of May, go into the BI office, and make sure you got your passport, and you'll need to keep your boarding pass, because you're going to need your flight number and the dates you got in, all that. You need to fill all that information out. And then you can do the express, which usually costs you about an extra 1,000 pesos, $18. Or you can leave your passport and come back. Usually it's about a 3-day wait. Sometimes it's less, depending on which office you're in. Every office is different. Every office has different rules. So, but you'll need to go in before, and then extend to 29 days. If you're planning on staying more than 2 months, you got to go in again and extend. When you go in that second time to extend past the 29 days, or the total of 59 days, you can extend for 1 month, 2 months, and in some locations you can extend up to 6 months. It just depends. Like I said, depends on the location. So just to understand that. But then you'll also need an ACR card, which is an Alien Certificate of Registration ID card. If you plan on staying beyond 59 days, you'll need to pay for that. That's also a charge, but it's good for 1 year. So you can come in and out of the country and still have that ACR card for up to 1 year before you have to renew it. Okay, so those are things to understand about the BI office. Try to dress nice. The BI office here in BGC, you can wear shorts. I would probably not wear sandals, and probably not wear a tank top. I would wear long pants if you go to your BI office. Most places are okay with wearing shorts, like here in BGC, but some of them get a little sticky about dress code. Don't wear a tank top, don't wear sandals. At least wear a sleeve shirt and tennis shoes or regular shoes, just to be on the safe side. So that's what I would do when you go to extend at your BI office. Just a little tip on that. Okay, so when you're looking for condos or apartments, a couple of places to look that are really good. Facebook Marketplace, first of all, really good place to look. You'll get owners on there advertising their units. Also, you'll get realtors and agents advertising there. So you may you may see a condo unit that you like, and you may be contacted by, it could be the owner or the agent or the realtor, so you just don't know. But that's one good place to look. Another one is rentpad.com, and another one is Lamudi, Lamudi, and of course I'll put all these links below. But those are good places. And if you're looking in BGC specifically, here's a website to look at too. It's called FortBonifaciorent.com. So just so you know, that's a good place to look as well if you're looking at BGC specifically. So when you go there, I want you to know that in the Philippines, everything is negotiable. So just don't think if you go and they're telling you $50,000 for rent, 2 months advance, 2 months deposit, don't think that that's the bottom line price. You can always negotiate. Tell them 40,000. I'll give 40,000. I'll do 2 months advance and 1 month deposit. If they say no and they're being really strict and they won't negotiate, feel free to walk away. There's hundreds of other condos out there that you can find. Trust me. Now, unless it's like the one you want, it's like, oh, it ticks all the boxes. This is the dream I've been looking for. This is the one. Then, if you're willing to pay the top price, then go ahead and pay the top price. But like I said, everything's negotiable. So just don't be afraid to ask for a second, just counter offer, in other words. So don't be afraid to do that, and don't be afraid to walk away if it's not, what they're willing to do. And then also, a lot of times they'll charge you extra for parking. If you're coming here and you don't have a vehicle, I wouldn't worry about it. A lot of the units around here, a lot of the places have free motorcycle parking, but you just have to find out. If you're going to get a bike, just find those things out, and and check out all the amenities too. Just make sure it's the right one for you. Okay, apps to get. So if you're coming here, a couple of apps that you can get on your phone. One I would get right now before you come here is Grab. Get a Grab app. That way when you get to the airport, you can order your Grab and you can get picked up and take to your hotel or wherever you're going. Okay, so Grab. Also another one is Joyride. One word, Joyride. Joyride does cars and motorcycles. If you don't mind riding in the back of a motorcycle, you might do Oncus or Joyride. They're available too. Grab also does food delivery, and they also have Food Panda here as well. So if you're at your hotel and you want food delivered to you, you can use those apps as well. So another app that is convenient if you're planning on staying here and you need a Philippine phone number is Gcash. Gcash is handy. You can load money on it and use it to pay at retail places or restaurants or bars. There are only a couple of things wrong with Gcash. One, you have to have a Philippine phone number. If you're planning on staying here long term, it's probably a good idea to get one. If you're only going to be here a few weeks, it doesn't really matter. You don't really need it. It took me 2 months to get my account verified through Gcash before I was able to use it. So it could be a long process to get things verified. Also, it's not always available. I mean, the other day I went I went to Uncle John's, and that's like a 7-Eleven, and their Gcash was down. They couldn't use the Gcash, so I had to pay cash. And they also don't use credit cards. So if you are trying to use your credit card or your bank card, a lot of places don't use it. Cash is still king here in the Philippines, especially in the smaller areas. Now, most places in Manila and Cebu, here in BGC, most places will take your credit card or your debit card, but there are still some places that don't. So like I said, cash is still king. Speaking of cash, if you want to get some cash, you can use Wise, Remitly, MoneyGram. Those are some apps that you can send money to yourself here in the Philippines. Just have backups for everything, so like if your Gcash isn't working, make sure you've got cash on hand. Make sure your cards are working. We already talked about making sure that your credit card company and your bank knows that you're here. Make sure your cards are going to work over here. Other apps to get if you're planning on dating, or if you're needing to contact realtors or condo owners, WhatsApp. WhatsApp, and I'll put the link below, is a popular app they use. It's free to message, free to call, free to do videos. So WhatsApp is a nice app to download. You can do that before you get here. Viber's another one that's used a little bit here. Line, L-I-N-E, is another one of those type of apps. Not used so much here in the Philippines, more so in Thailand and Vietnam and other Southeast Asian countries. Also, Telegram is becoming more popular. And then, of course, Facebook Messenger. So those are some of the apps that you can get. And also, like I said before, get your SIM card. That way you've got your Philippine phone number. And, hopefully these things will really help you out when you're planning on visiting here or moving here. If I left anything out, this is a quick list. I wanted to make it short. But if I left anything out, put in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to post those too. And then hopefully this helped you out, because it's all about me sharing my experiences with you so you can have an easier or more enjoyable experience when you get out here. That's why I do this. So please like, share, and subscribe. I know that on my videos, about 70%, 60 to 70% of the ones that view my videos are not subscribed to my channel. So if you're watching and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do subscribe. If you are subscribed, check to make sure, because I've heard rumors that YouTube is unsubscribing subscribers to some channels, which I don't know if that's true or not, but I've just heard that. But check to make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not, resubscribe. I really would appreciate. And then share this to other people that you know that might benefit from my experiences and help them out too. So hopefully this is helpful for you. I enjoy doing these things and just sharing my experience. Till next time, mabuhay, live life, my friend, and have a good one. Bye-bye.